Everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So today we're going to be looking at something that's pretty interesting. It's not something you don't know. Around October, I think about a week after the DC fandom event, I think Warner Brothers Games went ahead and added a storefront page for Gotham Knights. This was on the PlayStation. Oh yeah, this is the exclusive I was talking about in my last video, the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow Nightmare Missions. That was a PlayStation exclusive, but we'll go ahead and talk about this here in a bit. So they basically put a Gotham Knights storefront page, and you can actually get, to go ahead and wishlist the game. If you're paying it, there it is. They have it here. And also what's interesting is they not only have one for the PlayStation Store, they also have one for the Steam page as well. So this is also pretty interesting. So if you go on Steam, Gotham Knights has a Steam page. And I mentioned that, I mentioned in my last video that, I thought that it was quite peculiar because if you go ahead and look on the Xbox store, you're not going to see something like that. And I don't necessarily understand the reason why. So in this video, I think what we're going to do is probably just explore a few potential things that could be influencing all of that. So here's my Xbox, store. Let's go ahead and search. They may have added it, but I've been checking very, very diligently, actually. So let's go ahead and see if we can find anything. Gotham Knights. I don't see anything. All I'm seeing is the TV show. So let's see if we can press that for full results. Nothing. So there's nothing on the Xbox store so far. Now, it could be that Xbox usually wants some more information in terms of maybe when the release date will be there. Or it could be that relationship is something that is going to be pursued by both, Sony and Warner Brothers. Because like I said in the past, that it seemed like in the former game, in Arkham Knight, there was an exclusive aspect to the game. And I'm glad that actually, this is something that we can pay a little bit of attention to because it really does, go tie into what it is that I was talking to. Because in that video, I was trying to remember what the PlayStation exclusivity was. And here they are. So here in Arkham Knight, if you look at the collection, there's a small DLC called the exclusive Scarecrow Nightmare Missions. This is something that I do have as part of the amount of content that I actually got for my PlayStation back then when I first got Arkham Knight. So this says it's a PlayStation exclusive, and that's interesting because it's a Warner Brothers game and there's already like an exclusive thing. Now, it's not something game breaking. It's not necessarily the biggest of deal. There also is, in my opinion anyways, another PlayStation exclusive here for some skins. So this says it's a 31st century with the Justice League 3000 Batman or back to the 60s classic. So basically it has the 60s and the Justice League 3000 suit. I think this particular suit eventually got added to the Epic Games version of the game. So that's also another really interesting thing. I don't know if it got added to the Steam version. I haven't really checked, honestly. I mean, I couldn't even care at all. I have this game on basically everywhere that I could play it on. It's one of my favorite games. And so these are some of the things that, I was talking about. In fact, I'm going to go and track down these Scarecrow exclusive missions and see exactly where it is. So I'm going to actually start downloading it, and then I'm going to download Arkham Knight and then see whatever the heck it is that I can figure out is a reason for this entire madness. So let's see. Okay, there's a PlayStation exclusive Nightmare Missions. Okay, so there we go. So let me go ahead and install it, and then we'll just continue this conversation based on what it is that we're seeing. So I guess, there are so many things that you can actually, bring out from here. Already, there seems to be a relationship with Warner Brothers and their games and even the way that, PlayStation has handled them in the past. That's one thing. That's one way. There also could be just that, thing where promotional wise, I think Warner Brothers may realize that it seems PlayStation has a bigger platform. It seems they have a platform, and because the game is also going to be coming out on a PlayStation 4, let's not forget that is potentially over 10 million consoles that are sitting there that their game can actually be played on. So I think it's actually quite critical to see that maybe this relationship, they may have also continued it and said, you know what? Let's continue this partnership because our game has the potential to reach more eyes. And now, yes, we have the new generation consoles coming out, but there are still a lot of people who still have their other consoles, which that doesn't really change or shake them. And if this game comes out before the half of next year, then it still can leverage the old generation or the last generation consoles as well as the new generation consoles. So even if somebody may have gotten a PS5, it doesn't change anything. They can still get the game on the PlayStation. It doesn't matter. Or even if they wanted to get it on the Xbox One and they get a Series X or S, they'll still get it on the consoles that they want, if you get what I mean. But it still provides the opportunity to be able to get the game a little bit more eyes, at least something that will, progress the game forward in terms of marketing. So I think this is, in my opinion, one of the major reasons we're actually seeing this. I think this is a very, very big deal in terms of, what it is that Warner Brothers Games is trying to pull off with this particular, so-called relationship of a kind, which I did mention in my last video, by the way. If you didn't watch it, James Sigfield basically proposed that this was a thing. And, judging from the past, Batman game, it seemed like it is a thing. I mean, it's obviously right here. I mean, we're seeing me download the exclusive content that's actually available for Arkham Knight. And so it's kind of hard to, say that the relationship has ended, even though it may still be, it may have ended. Who knows? But, it's still more likely that the relationship is in play. Also, judging from the fact that the PlayStation Store does have, as well as the Steam Store anyways, does have the game already listed, whereas the Xbox Store doesn't necessarily have one. But again, that could also be an Xbox requirement thing. It could be that they're just not in the place where they want to actually start promoting the game on the Xbox. But like I've said in my last video, I don't think this is something that would really change the core aspect of what the game will look like on both platforms. The exclusivity may just be promotional based. Even the skins, which seem like they're actually an important part of this game, even more than the Batman Arkham Knight game, in my opinion anyways, I think they might be very respectful to fans because that's what they need to do, because fans have been very clear as to how they would love to see a number of skins that will represent any of these knights that they want to follow. So I think it'd be wise for them to follow suit and make sure that everyone is able to at least get access to the skins and even the missions, and then just keep the exclusivity to potentially something that seems a little trivial, that's not necessarily going to get fans feeling dissatisfied on the other, platforms that they buy on. Because, in my opinion anyways, I feel like when you get a product on all the different platforms, you need to at least make it somewhat fair. And that's also another requirement too, by the way. Many people don't know, but when you develop these games for either Sony or for Microsoft, you really have to kind of, give some kind of performance guarantee that both games will perform at a specific standard that doesn't really make the game seem to be enhanced better on one platform over the other. So I hope they can actually work a relationship where, because they need the Xbox platforms, because the Series X's and Series S's have been selling very well. I think the playing field is a little bit more, competitive now. And so I think they're going to be respectful of that. I can see them at the time making that relationship with Warner Brothers, or at least if it's already established, basically using it for the Arkham Knight game, because at that time, PlayStation 4 consoles were selling like hotcake. It was just selling like crazy. They made the Xbox One consoles look really bad. Microsoft, on the other hand, has been able to challenge PlayStation based on cloud-based services, availability of consoles. That's been a big, big thing, because the consoles being available have always been the big issue in this generation. So I guess that's pretty much what it is. Hopefully I'll be able to update you guys on what all this is about in regard to this particular, this particular missions. I don't think I ever got to play them, but that's a shame. I'm going to go ahead and kind of look out for them and see exactly what they are. And I'll update you guys, because I played the PC version much more. I mean, I beat this one on PlayStation 4, I think once, and then I just kind of left it alone. I guess that's how it was. And then I went on PC and I've beaten it there like, oh my goodness, so many different times. I can't even count. It's insane. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys in another one. Thanks for tuning in with me and walking through a little bit more in depth as to how this is actually working. I appreciate your time and audience. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section overall, though. How do you see this panning out? Do you think this is okay? Do you think it doesn't really matter? We just need to first get our game. I get that part too. Thanks again. Peace out.